If you haven't heard of Primo Fight Gear before, not to worry, neither did I until a few months ago, but man, I'm telling you, these guys are really here to shake up the competition. What's up guys, Ash here from Fight Spirit Reviews, and today I'm going to be reviewing the very sleek Classic Series Muay Thai boxing gloves from Primo Fight Gear. Now I came across Primo on Instagram, funnily enough, searching through tags, looking for new boxing gloves and brands, etc. And Primo stood out to me almost immediately. They have a small range of boxing gloves, they have a small range of Thai shorts, but from what they have produced, man, when it comes to the colorways and the designs that they've made, they look absolutely unreal. From the quick time that I've had a look at Primo, it looks to me that they're really trying to embrace the Thai heritage and also bring it into more of a modern look and feel. And while Primo's definitely in its infancy, in terms of a Muay Thai brand, man, with the quality of products that they are bringing out, with the amount of gyms I already see them here in Australia, they're really starting to become a household name already. So the first product I decided to try were the Classic Series boxing gloves. I've got mine in 12 ounce in Lion Blue. I'll leave a link in the description with how you can get yourself a pair, and also to their Instagram feed so you can check out their other products as well. First and foremost, I've got to commend Primo on their attention to detail, especially when it comes to the weight. The right-handed glove came in right on 12 ounces, and the left-hand glove came in at 11.8, which is really nice to see. I was actually quite surprised that they were on weight. It's very typical that I've noticed from a lot of Thai manufacturers when you buy their gloves that they're typically underweight. And I thought when I got these out of the box that there was no exception. They felt quite underweight. But it was funnily enough from the balancing of these gloves. Usually when you buy a set of cheaper gloves, you can notice the weight in a particular area, but because these are quite balanced, it really gave me the thought that they were well underweight. So because of that balance too, they feel really good when I'm hitting the bag and pads. So overall, to get the weight balanced throughout the front of the glove and the back is really well done. Now visually, it's where Primo sold me almost immediately. Their visuals stuck out to me as something that's quite classy, quite clean. The gloves to me are really well styled with their large stitched in Primo label. They've also got screening of the Primo label along the side of the glove and genuine leather screening on the inside of the palm with also a metallic silver 12 ounce label. All in all, it just gives me quite a, it gives me the impression of a much more expensive glove, like something from Fly or something from Winning even. Now the Classic Series has a little bit of a slimmer profile and a longer glove head compared to say other Thai, typical Thai brands like Twin Special or your Boon, for example. It kind of reminds me of like a Fairtex bag glove in that way. It's got quite a longer head, a little bit slimmer, almost more like a traditional boxing glove than you'd see compared to a traditional Thai glove. Now the leather on these gloves is absolutely incredible. It's so smooth and so soft to touch. Now I love what they've done with the handpiece in terms of the leather. They haven't separated the thumb from the hand compartment, which I really like and appreciate. They've also used a good amount of leather in between the thumb and the hand compartment as well, which is nice to see also. Now I reached out to Primo. They stated on their website that it's AAA leather. Look, as soon as you touch it, you immediately think that it's cowhide. It's got quite a soft, smooth finish to it. But I did check in with them and they said that it was Thai leather. So for me, if I was them, I would absolutely push that. Not only are they a Thai manufacturer making products for Muay Thai in the heart of Thailand, but if they're sourcing their leathers from Thailand as well, I think that's something they should be really pushing. Then onto the piping as well, which is a little bit of a lighter color, which is actually quite nice visually. The main thing that I find is a little bit of a gripe with brands is basically the little ending of the piping that they put into a glove. When they make that, or when they put it in, a lot of manufacturers just chuck it wherever. And if you buy, say, a $200, $300, $400 pair of gloves, and that piping's not finished very well, it just really detracts, in my opinion, from the value of the glove. So they didn't do anything special here, but they hid it, which I think is a good touch. At least it shows that any finishings are hidden within the glove, so it doesn't take away from anything aesthetically. Finally, just on the leather, they've added some ventilation holes to the palm and the thumb, which is great. I think any glove, regardless of synthetic or leather, needs a bit of ventilation, and I'm glad to see Primo have at least done it in a few different areas. Quickly, let's move on to the stitching. Honestly, throughout the whole glove, I think they've put double stitching where it needs to be. The stitching that they have used over the piping, over the glove, over the wrist is pretty well done. I don't really see any too bigger issues. The only thing that probably could be done a little bit crisper is the stitch label that you see there. I'll try and get that into focus. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty solid all round. Next, let's have a chat about the polyester lining. I think it's a good addition to this glove. You could have gone with a tricot lining or something like that in this to try and push more of that premium feel. But with the combination of the padding, the polyester lining not being as coarse or as rough as I see with some cheaper Pakistani gloves or even some Thailand gloves where they just chuck the polyester lining in. They don't really let it sit within the glove very well, so it falls all over the place and it bunches up in your hand. I think Primo have done an excellent job with this. It feels actually quite nice to touch. Obviously you won't notice it too much with wraps on, but in my opinion this is going to help with the drying out process of your glove a bit more. So I do think they've really chosen a good style of lining for this particular boxing glove. Let's now move along to the wrist section. It houses a 4.5 inch wrist length with a 3 inch high wrist wrap, which is obviously hook and loop Velcro, but it seems to be pretty standard. There's nothing crazy there. There's about 15 millimeters of, I'd say medium density padding there, and the Velcro sounds and grips as well as you'd expect. Now this kind of wrist wrap is super common. It's not something out of the ordinary. They haven't done anything in my mind that's extra here. It is pretty standard, so it's not going to give you as much support. It'll give you a little bit of protection on the back side. There's a tiny bit of padding on either side of the palm side as well, so not too bad for catching and drilling and parrying and things like that, but all in all, pretty standard wrist wrap. Next, let's move on to the standout feature of this glove, bar none, which is the padding system. We'll start with the palm side first. You've got about 10 millimeters of padding on either side of the wrist strap. You've got 10 millimeters here that goes pretty much all the way up to the bottom of the palm. In my mind, will help a little bit with a bit of shock absorption when parrying and blocking shots. Your other side here, in my mind, maybe a little bit for blocking, but I think mostly to give you a slightly better strap connection when you've got that Velcro locked in nice and tight. Next, the grip bar has about 15 millimeters of padding, is also quite soft and bouncy to touch. Doesn't feel like it gets in the way. It kind of complements me making a nice and tight fist and really makes me feel like I'm hitting the target correctly. Then we've also got the thumb, which has, I'd say 15 to 20 mils of padding, curves in quite nicely. So if you accidentally hit a pad, hit a partner, accidentally thumb poke something, it's going to be pretty well protected and really hidden well behind the fist. Lastly though, let's talk about the knuckle padding. I feel like the padding over the glove compartment is where they've really put the love into this glove. That's funny. Primo states that they use a 4-layer padding. I'd be one to guess that they have 4 layers of padding over the knuckle area, but as it starts to curve over the back of the hand, I'd say 2 to 3 layers. But again, that's not a gripe or anything at all. As long as the quality of padding's there, the right bounce, density, etc., that's what makes a nice glove in my opinion, not the 5, 10, 20, 30 layers that they're stating that they're going to put into their glove. As I said earlier, the bounce and the sponginess to this padding is really noticeable. While I can feel my knuckles through the padding, it bounces back and springs quite quickly. With the combination of the padding, the combination of the letters they use and the craftsmanship, the hand fit here is what is undeniably, in my opinion, the very best feature of this glove. Now the depth of the hand compartment is perfect in my opinion for a 12-ounce glove. My hands are about a medium size, I'd say. I'll put in the description exactly what they are so you can kind of compare and see if this glove is suitable for you. But I feel that they've nailed the length of the hand compartment. I see too many gloves out there that really cut them off too early and make it super uncomfortable. And if you have longer hands, it's just an absolute pain for you to get your hand into a glove that's anything smaller than a 16-ounce. The width on it is pretty good too. I could probably fit another finger width in, so if you have wider, thicker hands, that shouldn't be a problem either. As I said earlier, the glove feels more to me like a Fairtex bag glove, so it definitely isn't as spacious and as empty as you find traditional Thai gloves, where if you try like a twin special glove, you've got a huge hand capsule in there, or a Yokkao glove where you can just fit an enormous wrap in. So it does feel a little bit firmer. The padding complements that, however, by how soft it is when it really molds around your hand. And before I give my feedback, the very last thing about this hand fit is there's no awkward stitching on the inside. They've put a little piece of neoprene, I believe, on the finger capsule so you don't feel like you can feel any of the stitching or any of the joins there. All of the inner lining doesn't feel bunched up in any particular area. It just really does melt to your hand. But let's move on. Let's talk about my feedback and I'll give you a bit more idea of my experience of these gloves and how they perform. So I've had the Primo Classic Series boxing gloves for a few months now, and I can honestly say without a doubt, these are, in my opinion, my favorite bag gloves I've found so far. Mind you, there are plenty out there I haven't tried yet, so I'm not trying to be too biased, but with the amount that I have tried, these are definitely a standout for me in terms of their comfort and their feedback. Now, for you to use these for sparring, for someone of my weight, around 80 kilos, I would obviously use a 16 ounce pair. I feel for the person who's going to be using these, you're going to feel pretty protected, but the person you're going to be punching is really going to notice it. So if you do come across these gloves, know that you may be in for a little bit of a treat. The pop that you feel in these gloves is outstanding. When you hit a heavy bag, you hit a boxing bag, doing pads with the right pad holder, these gloves just make the most incredible sound, and the feedback that you feel is unreal. Just be wary though that the only thing I would tell you to consider is, as these aren't the most protective gloves, if you do get reoccurring hand injuries, just make sure that you tread these out every now and again. Don't use these repeat. I did find that using these all the time did start to give me a little bit of fatigue in the hands, a little bit of pain after a while. So be mindful, wear a good set of wraps, wear some gel pads if you need to. But all in all, I think Primo Fight Wear have done an outstanding job with their first or second pair of boxing gloves that they've produced. I think that they've absolutely nailed it in terms of giving you a medium price boxing glove, but with a seriously premium style and feel. I really do want to try their Emblem series, try on some of their apparel, and hopefully try their new shin guards, which I see on Instagram, but they're not available yet, so I hope they come out very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching my first ever review. Hope you enjoyed the content. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment below if there are any products you're looking to get tested. I'll happily have a look at them, and yeah, hopefully I'll have my next one up very soon. Catch you guys later.